tonight's tactical enhancement is rum. Tonight we're playing Black Seas, and it's another 400 point just having at each other as we continue to learn the rules. Only this time we thought we'd put some more shit in the way, make us avoid more stuff as we try and figure out how to sail. So it's about 400 points aside. We've got the same ships as last time. We're just dusting off what we've got. I've got a bunch more ships that are assembled but need to be rigged, and if you're playing this game you know that that's a little bit on the time consuming side. So this is my mob of ships here, 3 brigs and a 5th rate frigate. And Andrew's done something very similar with his 5th rate frigate over there, his 3 brigs. Those are in squadron, so they're following the squadron rule, which I've forgotten how that works.
No, it's ships in a line. Squadrons are 2 little ships on the...
Oh, okay. So ships in the line. Right, yeah. Okay, well there we go, getting the terminology wrong already. Whereas I haven't done anything in particular with mine, I've just put them there to sail individually, with the one in front being a little bit closer to the wind so it moves before the other ones. So we'll have to explore this ships in line business a bit more. Last game we sailed around in circles, crashed into each other, did as much damage to ourselves as we did to the other guy, and didn't actually sink anything.
No, I think I brigged down to 10 or something.
Yeah, I had one I had to break off because it wasn't looking too flash. We're going to try real hard to fucking sink the other guy's ship in this game. So at this point I think we just have to roll a dice for the wind, and then who gets first turn, I believe.
That's it.
Alright, well, let's do the wind. Alright, we'll roll for that now. And we get 6. No change.
No change.
And then we roll what, a d10 to see who goes first.
No.
No? Oh, whoever's close to the wind goes first, of course. Yes. Alright, well, we'll just have a quick look at what's going on. I think Andrew's got one ship closer to the wind, that's his frigate. Then his line is a bit further back from mine. And I have no idea why we did that. Theoretically, we should both be hugging the coast to be close to the wind. But
yeah, it does seem a bit silly, doesn't it?
We're really just figuring out how the fuck does this game work with vague ideas of what we might do to each other.
Yeah.
If you have any sense of the tactics of this game, please put something in the comments, because we're just...
landlubbers.
Yeah, 30 years into wargaming and we're only just figuring out how to sail a ship. So do feel free to give us some advice. On that note, we'll check in probably at the end of the turn, but we might interrupt the turn sequence for anything really exciting that happens. Rightio, end of turn 1. We've all moved. Andrew's frigate went first, that's the one in the background, that's where the wind is coming from, the offshore as it were. And I don't think he did anything. Then 2 of my brigs moved up and we changed our formation and we got off some long range shots. Only one of which hit, and it only knocked 1 point. 2 points. 2 points off the frigate, but that was a critical, and it smashed up the quarter deck, which means that they're replacing the crew at the moment, so they won't be doing much next turn. Then Andrew's entire line manoeuvred, and they got some rounds off on the closest brig to them. They got 2 hits out of their 4 shots.
Yeah.
And yeah, managed to knock
4 points.
4 points off 2 hits out of 4 shots. Pretty good.
Needing 1s and 2s here.
Needing 1s and 2s, yeah. So that was a good round. Now I had a little bit of trouble. My last brig and Andrew's last brig couldn't manoeuvre into position. There's too much crap in the way, in our own ships, and a little rock to dodge there. However, in the interim, I had to move my frigate really where I didn't want to, in order to not have one of my brigs crash into it next turn. Ships crashing into ships is proving to be quite the thing for us. So I switched target and went for the closest of Andrew's brig, needing a 1 or a 2. I managed to miss. So I fired 6 rounds all up, got 1 hit. That was a critical. Andrew fired 4 rounds, got 2 hits. Hopefully those odds will go the other way. But what this means though is that my fleet is going to either break off as it goes around this island, or I'm going to have to split my fleet as the frigate goes one way and the brigs go the other way. So that'll be interesting. I'm finding that sailing is actually the most complicated part of this game so
We've
far.
only moved once, and like the whole battlefield has changed. Like,
Yeah. There's got to be something about figuring out what the hell are you going to do in advance in this game.
yeah,
And we did have this situation where Andrew's line's been broken a bit because the last brig couldn't make the turn without crashing into a rock. And the rules with line is that they all, if you declare that a squadron of ships is in line, they all move at the same time, but as a cluster. So all those three ships move one after the other, but it started with the front ship instead of the back ship, irrespective of which one's closer to the wind. That's what enables it to work. And I imagine if you're playing large fleet games, you probably want to have quite a few lines just to simplify things.
and you can mix and match ships too.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be weird because if you've got a slower ship in a line,
Yeah, they all move at that speed, at the slowest speed of the slowest ship in the line.
well, that's rather useful to know. I'm glad somebody read the rule book.
So you can mix brigs and fifth rates and first rates and third rates. And you can just make whatever you want, which is kind of cool.
Okay, well that is very good. That makes perfect sense. Look, we're going to move into turn 2 now and see where the hell our ships go. Right, here's where all the action is. The frigate moved first, then all of my brigs, then Andrew's brigs, and then my other frigate, which managed to sail along and do absolutely nothing. In the shooting, because Andrew's quarterdeck was blasted last turn, all he could really do was pass the skill test, drop sail a little bit and steer a little bit. Fired his bow gun, did nothing. Then my brigs did their thing, knocked a few points of damage off of that frigate there, and got another critical on the quarterdeck, didn't I?
No.
No? What did I hit?
No, you did extra damage.
I did extra damage, right,
Yeah.
right. So knocking a few points off of that thing now. So yeah, we fired lots of rounds, didn't do too much more to it. Then Andrew's line came along and blasted at my lead brig, took out the rudder somehow. And the quarterdeck. So I can't steer and I can't change sails or anything like that, but you know what? That's okay. I'm not going to need to. He's just got to like trundle on forward and shooting at you. That's pretty much what he's going to do. And no other damage was sustained by anybody, so that was all right. And it's worth noting for the wind, we got becalmed, so we're all moving at 3 inches per sail rating instead of 5. Which was not a bad thing, I suppose.
I think it actually worked to our advantage.
Helped both of us. And yeah, the fleets are hiving off, so that frigate, we don't know what it's going to do, but it's well separated from its brigs. And this one's going to have to go around the bloody island because there's no other way of manoeuvring that wasn't going to cause me an awful lot of angst, no good return.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure though how that's going to work out because I think Andrew's brigs are going to go this side of the island, whereas my frigate's going to go the other side of the island. You have to think about what to do about that, I think.
Yeah.
Some careful manoeuvring may be in store. Anyway, look, that's enough for the moment. We'll go into turn 3 or whatever we're into. Right, turn 3, I think. This was eventful. We've done more damage in one turn than we did in the entire game last time. So Andrew's frigate came back around and started working again. Took a few shots off of it. Did it hit?
It had a killer shot lined up.
That's right. It had a really good, perfect shot up the arse of one of the...
And I hit with 1 light cannon out of
Yes.
2 heavy cannon shots, a light cannon shot, and the carronaded was in range.
So it was a whiff.
Yeah, it just completely fucked up.
Alright, now over here, my individual ships, which are sort of semi in line, and Andrew's line passed each other. And we got off an awful lot of close range shots, and we fucked up each other's ships rather badly. Lots of damage was done.
Yeah.
2 of my ships are going to get to fire before they're out of range, although one of them has to roll each turn to see if it strikes the colours, because it's copping quite a few rounds, and then it copped a couple of point blank range shots and lost lots of points all at once.
Yeah, we're discovering just how dangerous close range broadsides actually are.
That's right. I mean, this one over here has taken heaps and heaps of individual hits, mostly at range, and it's still got a critical. It's got another fucking rudder hit, so we'll figure out what it does next turn. This turn it just went on a hard right turn, which is convenient. That's what I needed it to do. The middle ship's actually... Oh, that one's on... Which one's which? Sorry, no, this one's on 4.
Oh, no.
No, this one's on
yeah.
4, because it just took so many shots in the face. This one is on full strength still, somehow, by some miracle. It's, I think that's because you missed.
I haven't shot at it yet.
I haven't shot it yet, okay, right.
Yeah, because he moved
Oh,
up.
no, yeah, some shit happened. Anyway, this one actually managed to get 2 shots off. And I think I put another critical on this one.
Yep.
On the
5th rate, yeah.
What did I do, quarter deck again?
No, crew hit this time.
Crew hit, I did a crew hit.
At least you're mixing it up a little bit.
We're taking chunks off of that
It's
frigate, it's having a bad day. And we put, we got 1 point blank hit on that, so that's 4 points of damage. Did I do anything else to it?
No.
Now, one of the other ships got a critical on it.
Yes. The quarter deck.
On
the front one.
Front one, that's right, so we can't do orders.
Can't do orders next turn, no.
Right, you can't change your sail.
No.
Change direction, actually,
Without a skill test?
Yeah,
skill
okay.
test, yeah.
Alright, so that's going on. Now, over here, I've had to try and figure out what the hell to do with this guy, because due to the traffic jam I created, he didn't really get to do much. He's only shot like once. Didn't do anything. So I've decided to go around the island to starboard, because I figured that's the best way of linking up with the rest of my fleet. The alternative is to try and do a tight U-turn and sit there on light sails waiting for his ships to come around and blast them on the way in, which is great till you factor in that he might just decide to say fuck that and go this way and chase all my other brigs, which I figure is what Andrew will do. So, or he just sail the rest of his fleet around all at once to gang up on my frigate. That wouldn't be a good outcome either. So it's going to be a bit of a long sail before this guy comes back. But that's what you get for having terrain on the table. Because we are actually having to do a lot of rock dodging at the moment. On that note, we will go into turn 4. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of fire issue bears by the look of things. So what happened was, and hopefully I'll remember to post the picture in the video, is that one of my ships continued flapping around with a dodgy rudder. Didn't do a damn thing. Though it did go into the wind, so it took a bit of damage. The other ship struck the colours because it was down to 4 hull points. And then my last ship actually crossed the T and got around up the backside of the last ship in Andrew's line. That was satisfying. Gave it a good blasting. And Andrew's frigate came around. Did it hit anything?
No.
No, right. The problem is though, Andrew's line came around and took 6 long-range shots at the frigate who, due to its dodgy rudder hit earlier in the game, decided to do a great big turn into the wind, took 3 points of damage, sail damage when it dropped sails from him.
That's what did it.
Yeah, and then Andrew just managed to get on the very last shot of the game, got a long range shot on it and took another 2 shots off, bringing it down to 7 hull points. So I rolled for striking the colours and we fucked it up. So I've now got 2 ships that have struck the colours. Now, it's worth noting we've done probably similar amounts of damage to each other.
He's lost about 10 points.
Yep, so Andrew's frigate's lost 10 points, mine's lost about 4.
I've lost 12 points off the lead brig.
In fact, no, I've not lost any damage off my frigate.
I haven't shot at it.
Yeah, so you've lost a third of your damage off your frigate, because mine's fine. Your lead brig is...
down to 8, so it's 12 points.
Right, so it's only 1 off of striking the colours potentially.
That's what I thought you were going to fire issue bears with that and fucking finish it off and then fuck off out of there, but you did your little...
Well, probably should have, but what I did was cross the T on the back one and take 12 points off the thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Both options are good. Both options
Yeah,
are
yeah.
really good.
That's an interesting point. Concentration of fire might have been more useful at this
And
point.
just knock that one out like straight away. That would have been, strike colours. And
True, although if I managed to get both rounds and taken 12 points off of that bad guy, that would have been good.
yeah, then you'd have both 2 frigates of mine badly damaged. Yeah,
Yes.
no, I see what you mean.
Now you're another frigate's taken a pile of damage, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's like another brig.
Yeah, so he took a round up the arse. Triple damage, 6 points.
Yeah, okay. So I've done a fair bit of points of damage, and return I've got 1 untouched brig, 1 untouched frigate, 1 brig on 7 and 1 brig on 1. You strike the colours. So the interesting thing is, even though we've done similar damage, yours were concentrated onto 2 brigs, and that's what's done it. That's knocked 2 ships out of the game.
Yeah.
So in terms of hull points, it's probably still pretty even. And really, in a good turn or two of shooting, I could knock a couple of your brigs out, and your remaining ships would have damage on them. But the rules for the scenario are once half the ships are off, then that's the game over.
Yeah, half the number of ships sunk or surrendered. But there are other points here.
Oh, here we go.
Let's calculate
For
the
each.
points as follows.
For each damaged ship, less than half ship points, unrated 1 point.
So you get a point for my brig that's under half.
Right. Oh, you got 2 brigs. Oh, no, only one's under half.
One's under half. One's down to 8.
All right. So you get 2 points because they're surrendered, and I get 1 point for being below 50.
Yeah.
And that
so I get double.
Oh no, you get 4 points.
So I get 4 and you get 1.
Yeah, I get 1. Yeah, that's interesting because it's a sudden death, which to be honest with you, I didn't actually know that. I thought we were just going to shoot at each other until we got bored or until there was nothing left.
Well, it is nearly pumpkin clock, so we probably would have called it fairly soon anyway.
Well, that's right. We would have called it a tie.
Yeah, I was happy with the tie. Yeah.
Except that we just then decided to realise that actually this is a scenario, whereas I thought we were just having at each other.
Yeah. No, happy with the tie.
And if we do the scenario, then, and we should do it as a scenario because that makes more sense. It makes more tactical, and your actual choices for that done for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did similar amounts of damage, but 2 of my ships have decided that they're going to quit. If we did another couple of turns, at least 2 of Andrew's ships would quit, and then whatever he did to me in the meantime would determine what the odds are against the remaining brig and frigate each. And look, that I think is a more satisfying outcome than last time, where we sailed in circles, crashed into each other a bit, and didn't really do any damage. And this one, we've actually managed to smash each other pretty good.
Yeah.
Which I find quite satisfying.
Yes. And we didn't crash into each other this time, which was good.
Or into any terrain, which is just as well.
Came pretty close to that rock though.
Well, yeah, you were skirting the edge of a few things there. And this cliff face here, the lighthouse. Well, look, what have we learned?
Okay, so ships in a line are just, that's what we should do.
Yeah, ships in
We
the
should
line.
just put ships in the line.
And we do need to rig some more ships. We've got more ships built and painted, but it's not rigged yet.
Yeah.
So we need to get off our backsides and rig more ships, because more ships means more damage, which means a more exciting game.
I just found with the ships in the line, you can just concentrate all that firepower into one ship as they come at you, and then it's pretty easy to knock ships out.
Yeah, it really does facilitate concentration of fire in a coordinated sort of way. Because I was doing something similar with mine. I was switching between line abreast and line astern, and it worked for manoeuvre.
Yeah.
But it was a bit all over the shop compared to your nice neat lines.
Yeah, they just all fired at one ship each turn and just knocked it out as it came at me.
Yeah, and it does mean that you're doing a lot of firing issue bears.
Yeah, which is not a problem if you're point blank, we discovered, because they cancel each other out perfectly.
Yeah, and you still get the extra damage bonus.
And then you get double bonus, you get double damage, so...
Yeah, so it seems to be that we need probably double the number of ships for a start, which is fine, because that's what we've actually got. That's what I've got assembled.
Well, I've got no more brigs, but I've got 2 more 5th rates, a 3rd rate and a 1st rate.
Rigged or just
all done?
All rigged.
Ready to go.
Whoa.
So I've got about 1,000 points, I reckon.
Right, well, I've got the rest of the starter set, so 2 more 5th rates and 3 more brigs. They just got to be rigged, which I don't know, takes a couple of hours each.
Yeah.
which I've got quite a few other projects on the go at the moment. So I paused my my rigging just to show off what I had and have a few practice games. But I think, you know, once you've got 2 lines of brigs and 3 fifth rates, which may or may not be in line, you can start seeing the concentration of forces going to kick in.
I can't wait to see what 5th rates in a line does to another.
Well, if you get up close, it's going to dump. Once the carronades start coming in on it, that's going to be horrific.
We're going to be blowing ships away wholesale, I think.
Well, I believe that's the that's what we want to be doing, isn't it?
That would be burning holes.
All right. Well, look, I'm going to have a few public holidays over Christmas. Maybe I should pause between painting other things like Napoleonic Prussians and rig up the rest of the starter box. And then I've got the actual Spanish fleet box to do as well.
Have you got any 3rd rates in that? You do, don't you?
Yeah, there's I think 3 3rd rates, a bunch more brigs and frigates, and
I've got a couple more 3rd rates to do. So
yeah, and then I've got 2 first rates, and some gunboats, and there's quite a lot in that fucking box.
I think about 2,000 points, I'd say. Yeah.
You got the British fleet box?
No. I just
You bought individual ships, didn't you?
Bought the starter, and then I got the squadron, the 3rd rate squadron box, and just a 1st rate by itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I got a little carried away, and I haven't actually. I mean, I think I did an unboxing video several months ago, and I haven't actually done anything with that particular box.
Sprues.
Oh my lord! I need another me to do my hobby while the other me goes to work.
Learning is the way of the future.
Yes, well, that was a very interesting game. I think next time we should specify a scenario so that we know exactly what we're doing with the mission conditions and everything. I think we're slowly learning how to sail.
Yeah, sailing to the wind sort of caught us a bit off guard.
Yeah.
It isn't a problem if you're going light sails. It's only when you're going battle sails and full sails it becomes a huge problem.
Yeah, and I misunderstood and thought that you had to have the majority of your front angle into the wind, but you only have to have a little bit of your front angle into the wind, which means you can be at exactly the same angle on your own side of the one side of the board, for example, and your clip being into the wind, but you could be exactly the same angle near along a different table edge, and because your line of sight, as it were, goes off the table edge and never actually gets to where the wind's coming from, you're technically not into the wind. So exactly the same angle, different position on the game table.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah.
So there's something to bear in mind for some of the subtleties of manoeuvre. So you can turn at a sharper angle to avoid a table edge without going into the wind.
Yeah.
Which is probably a useful way to run the warp rules. Otherwise, you have a lot of ships going off the table.
Or just drop the light sails once the fleets have collided, just so you can manoeuvre.
Yeah.
Because ships at anchor get a +1 for the shooting, so it's actually not a bad thing to be anchored.
Yeah, that's right. +1 to be, yeah, okay. Is it easy to hit them though?
I don't think so. It's just easier to shoot.
Right, well, that's something I should bear in mind.
Much more stable firing platform, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that being stationary would be a good idea, but I suppose
It doesn't sound like a great idea.
Maybe this probably comes from the other games that we play.
Yeah, moving is good.
All right. Well, look. On that note, I think we're getting the hang of this game. I may take that comment back the next game, depending on what we do to ourselves. But for now, we're going to try and do some more of these. We'll have more ships on the table in the future. Feel free to check out some of the other videos on this channel. We've got all kinds of weird shit. And hit like, subscribe if you want to see what we do to ourselves next. And I think it's time to call it a night.